Can you just step out with me?
Do not put your hands on me.
Come on out.
Can you exercise your freedom of speech anywhere you would like? Would someone arrest a mother right in front of her 10-year-old daughter? And what makes a rational person go from stating facts calmly to screaming at the top of their lungs in just a couple of seconds? We're going to answer all those questions right here in this short video. So if you're ready, let's get going.
This is all factual information.
It doesn't matter.
You're violating my First Amendment rights.
This is what you agreed to when you first speaking. This is the form.
It is unconstitutional, Mayor Hall.
Well, it's not unconstitutional.
It is.
32-year-old Rebekah Massie was in an Arizona courtroom when Mayor Skip Hall cut her off in mid-sentence to tell her that what she was saying wasn't true, that she was not able to exercise her First Amendment rights of free speech in the courtroom. So is that true? Can your free speech really be limited depending on where you are at? Yes, speech can be limited in government buildings. Further down, speech on government land or in government buildings usually may be limited if the government does not discriminate on the basis of the viewpoint of the speech. And further, the First Amendment protects this right by prohibiting Congress from making laws that would curtail freedom of speech. Even though freedom of speech is protected from infringement by the government is still free to restrict speech in certain circumstances. So it's true, they can restrict your speech. This is why you cannot scream fire in a crowded theater. Now let's continue with the video. This is where she actually gets arrested and handcuffed in front of her 10-year-old daughter.
Chief, could you have somebody come down here and escort Ms. Massey out?
Really? Is that necessary?
Yes, I think it is.
In front of my 10-year-old daughter, you're going to escort me out for expressing my First Amendment rights.
She can go with you.
I'm not leaving.
Well,
Can you just step out with me?
I'm expressing my first. Do not touch me. Do not put your hands on me.
Can you just step out with me?
Do not put your hands on me.
Come on out.
Let go of me. Do not put your hands on me.
Come out with me now before you get arrested. Do you understand?
Are you detaining me?
Yes.
Why am I being detained? Under what charges? Under what charges?
okay, so
Hey, I have personal property.
Hold on.
You cannot touch me.
yeah, I know. She can go out there. Okay.
This is where it gets pretty interesting. You'll notice that it ratcheted up from her saying, "Don't touch me, don't put your hands on me." And then her voice began to escalate as the police officer was doing his duty and bringing her out of the courtroom. So very quickly, I want to go into the psychological reason and the physiological reason of why our speech gets ratcheted up, our voice increases in timbre and in pitch and in loudness, and why ultimately this woman went from just speaking to screaming at the top of her lungs. First of all, this starts right in your limbic system in a place called the amygdala. It's this little red piece right here. Now, fear or anger triggers the amygdala to send a distress signal to your hypothalamus. A cascade of hormones is released from the hypothalamus into the pituitary gland, and that communicates with your adrenal glands, and then you are flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, which are stress hormones, and that brings up the level of your stress, and your voice elevates. Now, some people have asked, why is it that she brought her 10-year-old daughter in the first place? After decades of doing this, you can see this very frequently, that people bring witnesses. Oftentimes, they will bring children to courtrooms as an insurance policy. You'll notice that she said, "You're really going to do this in front of my 10-year-old daughter."
In front of my 10-year-old daughter, you're going to escort me out for expressing my First Amendment rights.
She can go with you.
She didn't think that they would actually arrest her if she protested enough, and then if she threw out her insurance policy of, "Hey, I've got my 10-year-old daughter here, are you really going to do this in front of her?" And when that didn't gain any steam and didn't get her any traction, and she actually was taken into custody, that's when you see the heart rate going like crazy, the cortisol is flooding through her system along with adrenaline, and that ratchets up your tone of voice, and this is why you get louder and your voice gets higher. And pretty soon, when no one is listening and no one is stopping as she would like, she goes to peak level, which is screaming.
Yeah, I know. She can go out there. Okay.
This is very common when people don't get their way, or when people are upset or stressed out because people aren't listening to their story. They get louder, and their pitch gets higher, and it gets more intense.
You can go out there. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to go into E-session.